Hello, let's talk about how to add a little shuffle to your grooves, to your tracks. Let's just jump right into it. So I made this loop last night, and I also made the same loop, but I straightened everything out and made it more of like a straight ahead 16th note thing. So here's the triplet kind of 16th note groove. Cool. Then what I did was I reversed that into straight ahead 16th notes. Sounds something like this. Just to kind of get the idea between what shuffle feels like against straight time. So right there is straight 16th notes, 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a. Over here we have the more swung 16th note, where you kind of go 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 instead. So you kind of shuffle it. Has more of a bounce, all that kind of stuff. So let's go ahead and dive into it. Over here I made a little stock drum set just to show you what the rhythms are. So the 16th note triplet, you can house 6 of them into one quarter note. So as you know, a fourth note, quarter note are the kick drums. 4 on the floor is a good reference. So each of those kick drums equals 6 16th note triplets. Now if you just play that, it sounds like almost industrial in a sense. There's a lot of them. But what you do is you get rid of the second partial. Boop. So this is the first, second, third, fourth. Get rid of the fifth partial. Boop. And you copy and paste that. And you have what is called the 16th note shuffle. And it goes like this. So 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. So now you kind of make them in groupings of 4. Except now the E and the are pushed up as a triplet. And you have 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. As opposed to, so here's regular 16th notes. Let me go ahead and drop the velocity all the way down. So your regular 16th notes. 1 E and a, 2 E and a. Turn this off, the snap. The E is pushed to there. The is pushed to there in the triplet grid. And now look at that. The and doesn't move and the downbeat doesn't move. So yes, regular 8th notes fit within those 6 16th note triplets, which is where the hi-hat, the up hi-hat, kind of still lands on the end. So let's get rid of this. Raise the velocities here. So we got, so that and still fits. Now what's cool about 16th note triplets, if you're using the 16th note triplet grid, snap that back. If you get rid of every other one, you have 8th note triplets. So he has kind of like a polyrhythm over the and. So now it doesn't line up with the and anymore. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. But if you nudge it there, you have it back on the and it's still considered a 16th note triplet. But it all, because it fits with the and. To humanize the shuffle a bit, you can, let me turn the snap off. The upbeat 16th notes, so the E and the you can mess around with that. So leave the downbeat and the ands where they're at, mess around with the E's and the U's. First thing you can do is just slightly nudge it up, and that will make the swing a little bit tighter. Where the heck did this? So if you lock it right there, so that's the you can make it up a little bit, and it makes the shuffle a little tighter. As opposed to right here. So the beat 1 is the shuffle that's a little bit more tighter, and then this second one right here is more of just the quantized. Let me get rid of that. Little subtle differences, a little too tight for my taste. So you can like barely nudge it, and make the screen a bit bigger. You can do that. The farther back you go before the partial, the more straight the rhythm becomes. Becomes more of the 1 E and a 2 E and a thing. So now we're messing with making it a little bit And that's kind of cool. It's a little bit more, it's more loose. It's like a looser shuffle. So we got tighter shuffle, looser shuffle. Now the leaving the and the downbeats where they're at kind of leaves a grounding. It kind of grounds where the core beats are. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. But with the upbeat 16th notes, that's where you kind of set the vibe, where you kind of set the mood. Those two little suckers right there. All right, so let's dive into the track a little bit that I did. Though it's like a pretty silly thing to call it a track. It's just a loop. Cool. So we'll start with the hats really quick. So here are the hats. Now you can get really subtle with your grooves. Now when you use the shuffle 16th notes, you're more implying to the audience if it's shuffle or not. So with the E's and the U's, you can kind of scatter them around a little bit. So what I did was leave the up hi-hat, all the ands, solid. So all the ands are solid right on the ands. 1 and 2 and I dropped, like, here's an right here, another E. So if you listen, that what kind of sets the tone. Now these are just like the quarter notes, the fourth notes that are right on the downbeat. Now I kind of humanized all the E's and the U's already. So I pushed them up to make them a little tighter of a shuffle. Just a little bit, nothing crazy. Snare drum, I put the snare and the side snare together. So now we have right here. So right here, now what's cool is you can mess with the and the E's, and you can keep adding a bunch of U's and E's. Remember, the will be here, and the E's are right here. Let's just put the E's and the U's so you see it. And you can just scatter those around. So here's the third partial. Here's the sixth partial. Here's the third partial. And you can just make rhythms like that. Let's say, I don't know what the heck's going on over here. You're just messing around with the E's and the U's, kind of making more of a separated rhythm to the shuffle. So right there is the of 2 and the E of 3. 1, 2, E. So 2.3, that's the third beat. 1, 2, E, and 3, E, and And of course, you can humanize this stuff too. This is the upbeat, so you can go ahead and drag a little bit. I'm going to turn the snap off because I want to get more precise with how I want my shuffle to be. Rewind it. That's kind of cool. A little bit tighter. A little more pushed ahead. Yeah. So there you have that. And the same thing for the basses. Recorded this live on a MIDI controller with the idea of the shuffle in my mind. So it's kind of cool. Basically, this whole thing is you can create your own shuffle rhythms once you kind of understand 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and So once you kind of understand where the E's and the U's, how it's not so much like 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E. It's more da 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 da. You can go ahead and kind of craft stuff. So in the bass line, now it's not totally sound designed out, so don't judge me. So I'm using what is called basically the dotted eighth note, which is basically 3 16th notes spacing wise in like the shuffle. So 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and So remember, the E's and the U's are now shuffled a bit in the 16th note grid, 16 note triplet grid. Same thing, all the downbeats and all the eighth notes, up eighth notes, are solid right on it. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's just messing with the upbeat 16th notes. Another cool little rhythm right here that kind of has a dotted eighth note triplet feel. 1, 2. Now, remember, if you want to get to the shuffle, delete the second, delete the fourth partial. And what I have here is just 2, Cool little rhythms there when you're using the shuffle. Well, hopefully you got something out of this. If not, I'm sorry. Please do not hurt my feelings, okay? I tried my best. All right, goodbye.